Welcome to
Theories
of the third kind.
Welcome to Theories of the Third Kind. My name is Aaron. The other host joining me is Danielson.
Hello.
Now, before we start today's episode, we do have a quick announcement to make.
If you would like to support the show, you could do so by joining our premium subscription service. You can enjoy weekly premium audio episodes and access our extensive back catalog of over 227 additional episodes that are all ad-free.
All of them. And if you are a big baller, shot caller, and you ride on
20s?
20-inch blades on the
Impala.
Oh my God. Yes. If you do that, or if you don't, and you just want to purchase our premium subscription service, you can do that for $9.99. Just go to our website, theoriesofthethirdkind.com, and click on the little button in the middle that says Supercast. That will take you to our premium subscription service, where you can choose $6.66 for audio only, and we produce an extra episode each week, and you will get access to all the back catalog of all the other episodes that we've done, audio only. Or you can sign up for $9.99 and be a big baller and
Shot caller.
and get access to the video versions of them, where Dan shows his ding dong. No, he doesn't do that.
I don't charge much then.
He doesn't do that.
But we know things are tough out there right now. So if you can't afford a premium membership, but you want to help us out still, then you can do so by leaving us a written review on iTunes or Spotify.
That helps us out a lot.
However, don't feel pressured. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You're your own person.
It's okay.
Yeah. We just want you guys, girls, aliens, reptilians, Bigfoot, Sasquatches, Chupacabras, ghosts, Illuminati members, underground lizard people, whoever or whatever you are, to enjoy the show.
A Christmas miracle.
Also, remember, this episode is entirely researched by humans. Us.
Yes. And the only thing that's AI made is the graphics. Well, the base of the graphic is AI produced, and then we take it and put it in Photoshop and do all of the additional stuff on it. So like 90% of the graphic is made by us. Just the 10% is made by AI. It gives us the base to work off of. And then we stroke it, and it's ready to go.
With a paintbrush.
And with that being said, that is the end of the announcements. And originally this week, we had a totally different topic picked out, Dan, didn't we?
We did.
We had it fully, almost fully researched and ready to go. And then, out of nowhere, it's now a few days ago, a news article surfaced, and the article contained a leaked whistleblower report that stated the United States Pentagon is operating a secret UFO retrieval program called Immaculate Constellation. Now, this leaked report goes on to make a lot of different claims that haven't already been made. Well, some have and some haven't. For example, it claims that this program, Immaculate Constellation, has been operating without congressional knowledge for decades. And it cites evidence, including allegations about UAP/UFO sightings collected by the Pentagon and intelligence community, which document firsthand encounters with UFOs and UAPs, and that they are kept in a database that is used by the intelligence community. The report also describes various UAPs in detail, along with a bunch of other shocking claims. And all of this is being hidden not only by not only from Congress, but also from all of us, the public.
How dare they?
Yeah, it's not being made public. Now, before we get into the report itself, we need to talk about a few things. We need to talk about an individual named Michael Shellenberger. It's the individual who wrote this news article, as well as a website called public.news. And they are the ones that published this article, which contains the whistleblower, testimony and all that stuff. Then we can get into the juicy details about the whistleblower and his report, or her report. their report. We don't fucking know. It's an anonymous person. Spoiler alert. All right. What?
In SpongeBob, you got the Krabby Patty, or the Krabby Shack, right? Or the Crab Shack. What's the other one? The Rust Bucket?
I don't fucking know.
I'm just thinking,
What does that have to do with this?
I'm thinking the third restaurant would be Shellenberger. This name.
Oh my God.
That's the first thing that came to mind.
All right. So with that being said, Dan, can you start that off for us?
Of course. So just like Aaron said, we're first going to talk about an individual named Michael Shellenberger. Such a cool name. Michael is a professor, author, and journalist who writes on a wide range of topics, including free speech, homelessness, and the environment.
Now, to give you all a quick little backstory on Michael, he graduated from high school in 1989. He would go on to earn his bachelor's degree from the Peace and Global Studies program at Earlham College in 1993. 2 years later, in 1996, he would earn his master's degree in anthropology from the University of California.
After graduating from college, Michael moved to San Francisco to work with Global Exchange, where he founded a number of public relation firms. Then in 2003, Michael co-founded the Breakthrough Institute, which is an environmental research center located in California.
So he would work there at the Breakthrough Institute from 2003 all the way till February of 2016, when he would leave the institute and he would create the Environmental Progress, which is an organization that believes everyone has a right to affordable energy, a healthy planet, and urban environments that enable citizens to thrive. This organization defends those rights and funds research into why they are being threatened and who's threatening them.
So a few years later, Michael would join Twitter, which is now X, and quickly grow his following to over 1.1 million followers. Then in November of 2023, he would join the University of Austin as its CBR, which is the Chair of Politics, Censorship, and Free Speech.
So that is a little backstory on Michael. And over the past few years, he would write a number of articles in which some of those were actually breaking major news stories. For example, some of the news stories that he broke included San Francisco's cash incentives for homelessness, the U.S. government support for fracking, the censorship industrial complex, and the Twitter files, just to name a few. And by the way, he won like a real big journalism award in 2023 for his research and journalism regarding the Twitter files that he did.
The San Francisco's cash incentives, that's where they were pretty much wanting people to become homeless and they were paying them to be.
Yeah.
That's so messed up. Now, since Michael was breaking all these hot topic stories, it would grant him some notoriety and allow him to go in front of the United States Congress as not only as a journalist, but also as a policy expert. And then in front of Congress, Michael would discuss a bunch of different issues such as free speech, censorship, and the environment.
And by the way, I do want to say that his views are not the same as ours. We have independent reviews. We are not right. We are not left. Whatever his views are his alone. We're just telling you who this individual is. And I say that because he has some very controversial views when it comes to the environment.
Ooh.
He claims that global warming is not real. I'm not saying it's not real. I'm not saying it's real. All I'm saying is that is his view, and there are a lot of people who clash with that view. I'm not going to tell you my view on it because it doesn't matter. I'm just here to report this story. Anyway, so let's continue on. So with Michael being a journalist and also being very knowledgeable and passionate about those certain topics, such as free speech, censorship, and others, he decided to create a website. Michael created the website called public.news.
I didn't know .news was like a domain thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of different domain names that end in various different whatever. There's .xyz, there's .india, there's .sexting. I own India.sexting, I think. I don't know. I could be wrong. Fact check me on that.
They're going to go do it.
I own a lot of domain names because I used to buy and sell domain names. I have a lot of like very unique domain names.
I remember you used to just send us like a list of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. Anyway,
All right, so this website, public.news, is a news site that, and we quote, breaks big stories on the most important issues of the day, from censorship to mental health and the environment and much more. In this website's short history of being online, they have broken major stories, which include
The role of the US and UK military and intelligence officials in creating the censorship industrial complex, government censorship of Facebook, the World Economic Forum's secretive agenda,
San Francisco's illegal drug consumption site, the Twitter files and the FBI, the origins of COVID 19,
which, by the way, we have to say it that way.
or we get flagged.
Yeah.
Misinformation.
The virus itself, we have to say it like that because our episode will automatically get flagged for just saying that word as misinformation. Automatically flagged. No matter what we say, we could just say the word and just keep talking and not even talk about it. And our episode gets flagged and labeled as misinformation. Not only by YouTube, but by Spotify, Apple, everybody. Thank you for that.
Yeah. So dumb.
Not as in thank you to the listeners. Thank you to the overlords who try to hold us down.
Use AI.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. So there you go. That's why we can't say that word.
So there are a lot of other news stories that Michael and his website, public.news, have released. However, a few days ago on October 8th, Michael released a news article on public.news that would end up becoming their most viral story yet.
This news article is titled, Pentagon is illegally hiding secret UFO program from Congress, whistleblowers allege. And that is what our episode is over today. What this news article claims, or what the whistleblowers claim, and we're going to hop right into it.
So like we mentioned, Michael published that article on his website, public.news. The top of the article states, new government whistleblower reveals for the first time the name of the Unacknowledged Special Access Program, USAP, for Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, UAPs.
And when you go to that news article, that public.news article, it's kind of annoying because the first half of the article is free, but the second half, which talks about the whistleblower and their claims, is not free, but we have access to that part. But the first part of this article pretty much goes over the past history of the Pentagon and the government's research into UFOs, and how the Pentagon in 2022 created the Study of Unidentified Anomalous Phenomenon group, and they released a May of 2024 report. And the Pentagon said in that report that there is no evidence that any non-human or non-extraterrestrial intelligence has visited Earth. That's what they claimed in their report. And they also have, as in the Pentagon, has the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO, which assesses that the inaccurate claim that the USG is reverse engineering extraterrestrial technology. So yeah, the first part of this article just goes over the history, like the timeline of it all. And they actually have a 117-page write-up, which is super good, in my opinion. And this part we're not really, I wouldn't say worried, but we're not really going to go over, because today we're talking about the whistleblower and his claims, or her claims, or their claims. All right. So let's hop into the second part of the article, which we had to fucking screenshot. So to get access to the second half, you either have to pay, first you have to sign up, and then you either pay to be like a member, or you can download their app. You get your phone, download their app. You have to put your phone number in. You have to put your email in. You got to verify everything. And then they give you access to one article. And I was able to get access to this article, but it was through my phone. So I took a screenshot of the entire article and then made a folder with the screenshots. And that's what we're going to read off of. So this first part of the second half of the article, it states, Immaculate Constellation. The new UAP whistleblower claims that the U.S. military and IC database includes videos and images taken using infrared, forward-looking infrared, full motion video, and still photography. The government whistleblower made their claim in a report provided to authorized committees of Congress and their staff. So this whistleblower not only took this entire report and gave it to Michael and told him to write about it, but he also went to Congress with it, certain members of Congress, and gave it to them and said, hey, this is the report. And the Congress members didn't do anything with it. So that's why he went to Michael. Yeah. So the whistleblower alleges that the DoD, Department of Defense, created the USAP, which is the Special Access Program. And it is called Immaculate Constellation. That's the Special Access Program. In 2017, after the New York Times published an article describing an informal Pentagon UAP program called Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, or AATIP, which in 2017, the Pentagon confirmed that they had that Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, which is a UFO program to make sure that no UFOs are coming down and attacking us.
All right. Then it goes on to say that the report shared with Congress says Immaculate Constellation serves as a central or parent special access program that consolidates observations of UAPs and by both tasked and untasked collection platforms. Then it says the whistleblower's report includes 7 categories of evidence. It describes in detail various UAP sightings collected by technical assets and U.S. military personnel, the multitude of wavelengths collected by these sensors, the report says, have captured UAP characteristics that are difficult or impossible to observe with the human eye alone. Then subtle atmospheric effects associated with UAPs are also visible through these sensors employed by the U.S. military and intelligence agencies.
Yeah, so what they're saying is that the captured UAP or UFOs that they have captured on video, sometimes when let's say they're outside and they're filming something, they won't see it until they look back at the video and they slow it way, way down. Or they'll see like an atmospheric anomaly and they'll zoom in, and that atmospheric anomaly is caused by a UAP or UFO. So the article goes on to claim that the verifiable chain of custody for UAP, UFO, IMINT, which is quality imagery intelligence, collected by U.S. military assets, ensures a high level of confidence in the accuracy and integrity of the data gathered. Meaning, hey, we fucking got this, these UFOs, and it's not like a smudge on our cameras. We have this quality imagery intelligence, and the shit we're capturing, we got a high level of confidence in the accuracy and integrity of it. So it's not fake shit.
Like, we were trained in this shit. We know what we're doing, and we caught it.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he's saying. So the report concludes that the existence of Immaculate Constellation demonstrates the capability to detect, quarantine, and transfer the UAP and ARV, which is alien reproduction vehicles, collection incidences before they are observed and circulated within the military intelligence enterprise, thus serving as a means of enforcing internal information security. All right, we're going to stop right there. First of all, ARV, alien reproduction vehicle. That is
the Bengals?
No, the fuck? No, that's the government taking these crashed UAPs or crashed UFOs and reproducing them.
Oh.
And then flying them themselves. And then what this little paragraph is stating, that this group, this Immaculate Constellation, the Special Access Program, has the ability to, whenever these images or incidences are reported, they can collect, observe, and contain all of it before anybody in military intelligence can get a hold of it. They have the ability to do that. So pretty much all the information goes through them first. They quarantine and transfer all the incidences.
I feel like they need a different name for that, though. Alien reproduction vehicle. Doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
All right. Then the article goes on to say a former IC official, Immaculate Constellation official, confirmed to the public the existence of Immaculate Constellation. That program is run out of SECDEF, which is the Office of the Secretary of Defense, the person said they don't want to acknowledge it's real. I mean, of course they wouldn't.
This next part is scary.
Then the same person warned that simply printing the name Immaculate Constellation could trigger government surveillance under the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, FISA, of whoever publishes it. They won't comment on it, but talking about it will put you in the danger zone. They enforce the secrecy with a lot of vigor.
So even just talking about this program and saying its name, Immaculate Constellation, will get you on some type of watch list by the government. So we apologize, but welcome to the group.
Immaculate Constellation.
You're now going to be searched every time you go through the airport.
Welcome to our world.
You're going to get your ding dong pressed up against. Oh boy, every time I go to the airport, every single time, they pull me to the side and they say, let's see it. TSA, bunch of perverts.
Last time I went through there, sir, would you like a private room? No, why? They did a very thorough search right in front of everybody.
I said, ooh, dang. All right, so let's continue with this article. So the whistleblowers report said that a significant volume of intelligence reports documenting firsthand encounters with UAPs or UFOs by Department of Defense personnel exists within defense human intelligence databases accessible to the intelligence community. So there is some sort of like firsthand encounter database that the intelligence community can access, according to this whistleblower. The article goes on to state that Immaculate Constellation includes high-quality imagery intelligence, IMINT, and measurements and signature intelligence, MASINT. Man, they love their acronyms.
They do.
Of the UFOs that are spotted. The whistleblower report states that the sources of this intelligence are a blend of directed and incidental collection capabilities positioned in low Earth orbit, LEO, the upper atmosphere, as well as military and civilian aviation altitudes and maritime environments. Meaning that, hey, all these like low Earth orbit devices or upper atmosphere, whenever we take pictures of it, or we have military or civilian aviation, planes out there, or we have maritime, we have ships. If any of those capture any UAPs or UFOs, they collect it. Immaculate Constellation does, and puts it in a database. So the whistleblower's report also describes in various details UAPs, and it states from 1991 to 2022, the most common UAP shapes reported in this USG dataset were spheres, orbs, discs, saucers, ovals, tic-tacs, triangles, boomerangs, arrowheads, and irregular organic. It seems like they just, the most common shapes, they listed every fucking shape. They're like, most common one? We're going to list all of them. Fuck it.
Triangles, arrowheads. I'm pretty sure those are the same thing. They just wanted to add more.
Well, an arrowhead has like a little
tail.
Tail at the end, yeah.
I've never seen an arrowhead one.
I have. And the Nuremberg UFO encounter, whenever it flew over, it was black. It was shaped like an arrowhead.
Thought it was just triangle.
All right. So then it goes on, this whistleblower's report goes on to describe various incidences that were found in these databases, and they list off a few of them. You want to talk about this first one?
Yeah, the first one involved orbs surrounding and forcing an F-22 out of its patrol area. They say the F-22 broke trajectory and attempted to evade, but was intercepted and boxed in by approximately 3 to 6 UAPs, according to the report. One UAP maneuvered in proximity, which was less than 12 meters, to the area directly starboard of the cockpit. There, the UAP established a rigid spatial relationship with the F-22, maintaining its exact position and orientation parallel with the F-22's cockpit despite multiple evasive rolls and maneuvers. Surrounded by the presumed hostile UAP, the F-22 was forced out of the mission area under the escort of the UAP formation.
What does that remind you of?
The
MH370.
Yeah.
The MH370 Orbs episode where
they surround it and
start going. And if you have an F-22 and you have something that is being able to just
stay with you with all the maneuvers,
with you the entire time, as if it was connected to you. That's crazy.
Pretty good pilot.
Yeah. So that's one of the incidences that was listed. Another incident states that the crew of a Navy aircraft carrier watched as a small orange-red sphere rapidly descended from a high altitude to 100 to 200 yards directly above the flight deck on the aircraft carrier. The UAPs appeared to emit a soft orange-red light, which did not illuminate the ocean or the flight deck of the aircraft carrier, despite the intensity of the luminosity and its visual appearance. And you figured it would. The surface of the UAP was observed to be dynamic, roiling like the surface of the sun.
Oh, it was hot.
Can you imagine that? It just coming down and not casting any light, no illumination on the deck of your boat or on the water below. And the water reflects everything.
Yeah.
And it's not reflecting that. You know what that is? That's a motherfucking vampire UFO. That's what it is. You got damn Edward Cullen UFOs out there.
This is a body of a killer.
So that is pretty much the end of the second half of the article. It goes on to explain more about the history and Congress and how Congress is pissed off because they want information about this special access program and they aren't getting it. And here is a whistleblower or multiple ones making these outrageous claims. And Congress is like, why don't we have oversight on it? You know, you pretty much have this black budget program that's running illegally. That's un-American. You got to have oversight on it.
Well, Congress, welcome to our world. We wanted the information too, and y'all don't give it.
You some bitch.
Take that.
Yeah.
How does it feel now?
So that right there is what everyone is talking about. The secret program, Immaculate Constellation, that was leaked. However, just like every week, our episode does not stop here because now we are going to get into the strange facts and findings that we uncovered while researching this topic.
All right. So our first strange fact and finding is called the Pentagon's response. Now, what a lot of people are not aware of is that almost a week before Michael published this article, he actually emailed the Pentagon to make sure it was fine. The Pentagon kept telling him to hold off a few more days. Michael ended up sending Susan Go, who is the head of Defense Press Operations, and asked her a few questions.
Yeah, he sent her an email and asked her a few questions. He asked her, has the Department of Defense violated the Constitution or broken laws in failing to inform Congress about the special access program relating to UAPs? Next question, does the Department of Defense have a special access program called Immaculate Constellation that is researching UAPs? And then the last question, does the Department of Defense have a database of videos and images taken using infrared, forward-looking infrared, full-motion video, and still photography of UAPs? If there is a database, does it describe in detail various UAPs and UAP incidences? Those are the questions that he emailed to Susan. After sending that email to Susan and waiting, Michael did not get a response as quickly as he wanted. So he got fed up, said, fuck it, and published his article along with the whistleblower's claims anyway. Now, shortly after he published the article, Michael pretty much, I say shortly after, pretty much immediately. I mean, look at the response. Yeah, pretty much immediately. That was October 8th, 5/18. He published that article on the morning of October 8th. They sent that response that same day. He got the email back from Susan, and she ended up answering his questions.
So Michael ended up screenshotting the email and posting it on Twitter, aka X now, and on his website article.
Which you have to pay to get access to that, but, well, the second half of it.
Yeah. But we do have that email. We will post it up for everyone to take a look at right there.
And we're going to read through the responses. So the email starts off with, "Hi, Michael. Sorry I wasn't able to get to you earlier today. I see you published. Can you please update your story? You may attribute the responses to your questions below to me as Susan Go, Department of Defense spokesperson." So I'll say the question, you say the answer.
All right.
The first question, has the DoD, Department of Defense, violated the Constitution or broken laws in failing to inform Congress about the special access programs relating to UAPs.
To date, the department has found no evidence of the existence of any classified UAP program, including any special access program or controlled access program related to UAP that had not been properly reported to Congress. I refer to you the findings of AARO's Historical Record Report volume,
which was published, I think, earlier this year, is the one we talk about that the Pentagon published and stated, hey, we didn't find anything.
And that's available on www.aaro.mil. So I guess that's military, right? .military.
Mm-hmm.
Should DoD find anything that revises these findings, we will appropriately share the information promptly with Congress, subject to classification and access limitations, so as to protect sensitive sources and methods. We will also make as much information available to the public as possible.
Now, the next question was, does the DoD have a special access program called Immaculate Constellation that is researching UAPs?
And Susan responded with, the DoD has no record, present or historical, of any type of special access program called Immaculate Constellation.
Then the last question was, does the DoD have a database of videos and images taken using infrared, forward-looking infrared, full-motion video, and still photography of UAPs? If there is a database, does it describe in detail various UAPs and UAP incidences?
And she replies with, AARO's files contain all available data related to each UAP case, regardless of modality or classification. I refer you to the Office of the Director of National Intelligence concerning intelligence community databases. Regards, Susan Go.
So that was the email. And it was pretty much
generic
and them covering their asses. In my opinion, it was.
It was. Pretty much deny everything.
Yeah. So after he published that email, he ended up going on Joe Rogan. When did he go on Joe Rogan? I think it was that same day, October 9th. So the day after.
Yeah.
He ended up going on the Joe Rogan podcast. Michael Shellenberger did, and talked in more depth about the whistleblower and their claims and all that stuff. So that right there is our first strange fact and finding. Now let's get into our next one.
Our next strange fact and finding is about an article that was published in June of this year that was titled, DoD Contractor Saw UFO Use Enough Energy to Power a Small City. And the article goes on and states,
a U.S. Department of Defense contractor's tantalizing encounter with a giant glowing UFO has sparked 10 years of research and 2 patents inspired by his encounter. 3 witnesses, including that Pentagon engineer, report that they captured electronic evidence of a barbell UFO half the length of a football field that glowed an eerie indigo blue.
The craft, they said, flew silently over an old logging road in southwestern Ontario, Canada, on August 28, 2013, near where the trio had camped for a hunting trip. The Daily Mail spoke with the case's first investigators, who shared electronic data from the contractor's attempt to film the object, showing white noise pulses in the video that recur in 1-second loops identical to strobing light from the UFO itself.
The captured data of the event, the witness reported, may be the first real physical proof of not just a craft flying. What? A lot of crafts fly. What the fuck are you talking about? But that it flies by virtue of an incredibly complex and has a powerful spinning electromagnetic propulsion system. Yeah, I said the same thing, but he goes into more in depth about what happened on that day and the actual UFO itself, which we talk about next.
So on August 28, 2013, the barbell UFO encounter itself, these witnesses said it began around 9:40 p.m. as they were returning to civilization from a black bear hunting expedition, a practice that is legal when done in season in Canada. The defense contractor witness was seated in the back of a Dodge 4x4 truck.
Hell yeah.
With 2 other witnesses in the front seat.
We were roughly 4.5 or 5 miles from the main road when I noticed something over my shoulder, stated the defense contractor, who wishes to remain anonymous to preserve his Defense Department business contacts. The very first thing that was intense was just how bright this thing was, he stated. It was spectacular. Having been involved with optical systems in the past, we're talking about a vehicle that looked like a stadium lighting scenario. It was brilliant, he stated.
The witness described an indigo plasma that covered most of the craft, which was bone-shaped or barbell-shaped and extended about 170 feet long, 60 feet wide, and 20 feet tall, as it flew slowly just over the tree line above this old logging road. The craft rotated slowly around its center while emitting an electrical spark-like shower, always opposite of the direction of travel.
The witness said he first attempted to film the UFO with two devices that he had on him, a Motorola cell phone and a Sony HD camera. Motorola, goddamn. What is it, 2004? Both devices behaved as if they were caught in a boot sequence, failing to stay on while the craft was nearby, about 400 feet, leaving the witnesses to view the UFO more closely, though, through the scope of his rifle. Up close, he told investigators, the lights that it emitted were not incoherent light, meaning not the diffuse soft light that from a light bulb that you would get, but it's more like a laser light.
Now, in layman's terms, he described the light as like tens of thousands of small lit particles, best described as those that occur during a fountain-type firework, sparklers. But more technically, the contractor described it as a coherent light. It was salty to my eyes. It was just as if I was looking into a laser that had been passed through a diffraction grating or something of that nature.
Both the other witnesses were extremely worked up about this, the defense contractor said in a videotaped interview. In fact, one of them said, "Just shoot it!" Like he wanted me to actually shoot a rifle round into this thing. What a fucking dumbass. The UFO moved in its slow rotating motion for approximately 6 or 7 minutes, eventually allowing the defense contractor witness to film the event with his Sony HD camera, which yielded only static despite working before and after the event. So he got out the Sony HD camera. He's like, okay, yeah, it works. Nothing but static. What the hell? And then it worked. UFO's gone.
He talked about the light being not like a soft light, but like a laser light.
Yeah, like plasma.
Don't lasers like mess with camera lenses?
I
To
don't
where
know.
I think it makes it into like white noise. I saw it on a movie where they robbed a bank and they used lasers to destroy the camera lens. I'm pretty sure. So if it was lasers, all right. So the sighting ended with a similar lit craft emerging on the horizon and both the UFOs zipping off at an incredible speed. The moment left just visual static and the witnesses' astonished voices on their tape. The tape was analyzed and the witness stated that the oscillating static sound matches the strobes of the UFO.
A more in-depth report is being generated for continued studies of this apparent electronic signature, the defense contractor witness noted. So they took the static and sent it and is having it studied. Now, the defense contractor did make a statement. He said that based on his own experience producing plasmas at a much smaller scale than the indigo plasma that he said enveloped the giant craft, he was able to calculate a ballpark figure for the energy required to produce this plasma field over this giant UFO, which he suspects, the defense contractor, this plasma field is this UFO's propulsion system. But he goes into detail about his calculations.
All right, so the defense contractor calculated that the craft had an approximate surface area of 3.1 million square inches, which is a minimum of 160 million watts of power would be needed to surround the craft in plasma. This amount of power is 33% of the 478 million watt nuclear power plant in Fort Calhoun, Nebraska, he said, but packed into an object a fraction of that size.
The article goes on to state that unquestionably this craft was the highest power density vehicle I've ever witnessed or could have ever imagined, is what the defense contractor witness stated. And we do have an image that was made and of this UFO, and it was a computer-aided design CAD 3D render, and it was made by the Pentagon contractor himself, and we'll post it up right here. It's a blue UFO.
Hey, it's something that you would never use. Contact lens holder.
Oh my fucking God, that's what it does look like. I never take my contacts out. even the daily wears. I have daily wears in that I'm supposed to wear one day and throw away. These babies have been in for over a month. Before that, I had a monthly pair. So only supposed to wear them a month. I wore them for over a year.
That he did.
I've had multiple eye infections over the past, how old am I, 36? Over the past 20 years, multiple eye infections. Actually, two really bad ones where I couldn't get into light. Otherwise, it would hurt my eyes. My eyes were really red. I had to put drops in them. Yeah, I'm running the risk of losing my eyesight. Not very smart.
No.
But anyway, that right there is our second strange fact and finding. Thought it was a very interesting article. I've never heard of it and never heard anybody mentioning it. And it happened a few months ago, this past summer. Nobody talked about it. Big old blue contact case UFO. All right, so let's talk about this next strange fact and finding, which is very interesting.
All right, so this next strange fact and finding is an excerpt from the January 2000 issue of the National Security magazine, in which reporter Bill Sweetman, first made public the existence of an unacknowledged special access programs in which officials are told to lie to protect.
Yeah. So the government has always stated, hey, we do not have unacknowledged special access programs. All of our programs are public for Congress and for the oversight committees to take a look at. But Bill Sweetman stated, hey, these unacknowledged special access programs do exist, and officials who are over them are told to lie to protect them. And this was published in January of 2000. So we have that article, or not the article, but the magazine cover right there for your ass. Pretty crazy.
Now, what's interesting is this next strange fact and finding, which Aaron told me about, and I'm just like, ooh.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
It's a good one.
So this next strange fact and finding is called Zodiac. Now, you have the name Immaculate Constellation. First, we're going to look at the first word, immaculate, which equals majestic.
Yeah, could be the same as majestic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then constellation. You think of the zodiac signs. How many zodiac signs are there? Technically, there are 13, but...
But the United States acknowledges how many?
12.
12. So, what does that give you?
Majestic 12.
Immaculate Constellation equals Majestic 12.
Yep.
And tell them what Majestic 12 is.
Well, Majestic 12 is an organization that is claimed to be the codename of an alleged secret committee of scientists, military leaders, and government officials formed in 1947 by an executive order by U.S. President Harry S. Truman to facilitate recovery and investigation of alien spacecraft. The concept originated in a series of supposedly leaked secret government documents first circulated by UFOologists in 1984. Upon examination, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, declared the documents to be completely bogus.
Yeah, they're like, no. We don't
Fake,
have that.
fake.
They're fake. But that didn't stop people from believing. Because they were like, look, are we just going to trust your word, FBI? No. And I wouldn't either.
Honestly, for one, I was like, Immaculate Constellation, that is such a weird, special access program name. But let's just say that instead of it coming out as Majestic 12, you say that, no one really puts it together until you really think about it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So this last strange fact and finding I do not have listed. And I did not write it down because I wanted to surprise you with it. I went on Google search trends. And on Google search trends, there's an engine or a program that Google allows you access to. You can type in a term and you can see how many people search that term, like what percentage, like how popular that term was searched.
Ooh.
Immaculate Constellation, of course, if you type that into Google search trends, it will show that term is trending and everybody's searching it right now. However, if you look over the past 5 years, if it was truly a secret program, nobody should have searched it unless they had knowledge of it. So this first image right here is the search that I made. And you can see from June 11th to June 17th of 2023, there were 4. Now, it doesn't mean there was 4 searches. That's just like the percentage of interest over time, meaning that
Mm.
So many people have searched it to bump it up to a 4. It's like a number system that they have. And I guarantee you, if you look up Immaculate Constellation right now, it would be at 100 the past few days, and then it would drop back down as less and less people search it. But that is the past 5 years in the United States. So I decided to look around the rest of the world and see if anybody else searched it in the past 5 years.
Oh.
I'm going to put this image up here. And I found that on May 20th, 2023, the term Immaculate Constellation trended in Israel 100, which is the highest you can get as a Google search trend. And I've looked and I tried to see, and I couldn't find anything about what was going on in Israel that could have been closely to this term, Immaculate Constellation. That is very odd. Very, very odd. Which tells me that maybe somebody, I don't know, leaked some information, or they were able to get access to some information and they were searching it on Google. Not very smart on their part. And then shortly after that, like less than a month later, you had someone else search it in the United States a couple times. Strange. Very strange. Somebody knows something. Something's going on. It's weird. And that takes us to our theory section as to what this could be. Is it real? Is it not real? Is it fake? Is it a made-up program as sort of like a trap? Let's discuss those options. Dan, tell us about this first theory.
All right. So the first theory is that this entire story is real. The whistleblowers actually has true information, factual documented information about this special access program, Immaculate Constellation.
And that it exists and the government is hiding it from everyone, including Congress and oversight committees, which, I mean, we kind of already knew that all along. This just kind of adds more to it. And if this is true, then it leads to a bigger question of not only like how were they able to pull this off for the funding and everything for this program, since it's a special access program, so it's a black budget, but what other programs do they have besides UAPs? You know, are they studying time travel? Are they studying other things? We don't know. They're withholding stuff from us.
When I think of UFOs or stuff like that and I hear Israel, it just makes me think about why they invaded Israel, supposedly trying to find the Stargate that they had there.
You're thinking of Iraq. We didn't invade Israel. We invaded Iraq.
Oh, well.
Saddam Hussein was in Iraq.
In 2013, they talked about Stargate in Israel.
But we didn't invade Israel.
All right, so we didn't invade there, but I just remembered, like, it was around that time because of everything going on.
I know there's a theory that there's a Stargate that Saddam Hussein had because he was the supposedly reincarnation of Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah. But yeah, supposedly there's a Stargate in Israel as well.
Where does it take you? To the stars?
Don't know.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get on to our next theory, which is called Find the Leak. So this theory states that this entire story is made up, but it's not made up by Michael, but it is instead made up by the United States government, not by the whistleblowers, but actually by the government itself. Now, why would the U.S. government make this story up? Well, this theory states that every once in a while, the U.S. government will give random reports to its intelligence officers as a test. Each report is different, but the claims on it are like really outrageous. Of course, the claims are false, but the intelligence officers who get the reports, they don't know that. And they don't know that everyone else, all the other intelligence officers, are given different reports. Maybe one of these reports claims that Bigfoot was found, or that Mothman is real and has always been real and is going around slinging ding-dongs. Or maybe, you know, the government has a UFO testing program named Immaculate Constellation. The point being is that this entire story is made up, and it is just a fake story that was given to an intelligence officer as a way to test him or her to see if they become whistleblowers or if they can become trusted. and it was all part of a test. And they failed the test and ended up leaking this fake information. And now not only does the government know who leaked it, because I guarantee you they track what story they give to which intelligence officer.
Oh, yeah.
But they were able to figure out, hey, this intelligence officer is no longer trusted. Get rid of him.
I could see that. And then the next theory is called Fed misinformation. This theory states that the government wanted to figure out how quickly leaked information would spread, so they purposely fed misinformation to Michael as a test to see, once he publishes it or brings it up, how fast it spread around the world.
Like what media outlets are going to pick it up the quickest, so they know that those are the media outlets that they have to target first in silencing if something truly gets leaked.
Control the media. Yep. And then they find the weakest link and take them out. I can see that too.
Yeah. All right. So this next theory is called lies for sign up. So this theory states that the entire whistleblowers, the leaks, everything, it was all lies made up to push people to become paid members of Michael's website so that they have to access the second half of the article. And it worked for us, but I didn't become a paid member. I just downloaded the app and gave him my fucking phone number and everything. Thanks a lot, Michael. Shellenberger. So there's that theory. We have a few more.
I could definitely see that one.
Yeah.
All right. The next theory is called Planet Found with Life. Now, there's a planet called Ross 128b, which is a confirmed Earth-sized exoplanet, likely rocky, that is orbiting near the inner edge of the habitable zone of the red dwarf star Ross 128 at a distance of around 11 light years from Earth in the constellation of Virgo. In the spring of 2017, astronomers at the Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico were sorting through data from recent observations when they found something strange. The radio telescope had detected what they described as something very peculiar signals coming from a nearby star unlike anything they had ever observed before. The star in question is Ross 128, a red dwarf located about 11 light years from Earth in the constellation Virgo. Now, red dwarfs are the smallest and most common types of stars in the universe. They're far dimmer than stars like our sun and can't be seen with the naked eye. So for about 10 minutes on May 12th, a radio transmission came from the direction of Ross 128, which stars can emit various wavelengths of electromagnetic radiation, including radio waves, but the pulses that came from Ross 128 were at a frequency astronomers haven't detected before in red dwarfs. So what if in spring of 2017 is when we confirmed alien life on another planet, Ross 128b, which is in the Virgo constellation, the United States intelligence community gets together and creates the super secret project to study this planet, calling the program Immaculate Constellation.
And then add in a bunch of extra stuff to try to drown out or
throw people off.
But the main purpose of this program is to study this Ross 128b that they've confirmed that there is odd frequencies coming from it. And maybe they confirm that there's alien life on there.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool. I wonder when they're going to start holding trips to Ross 128b. Probably not anytime soon, seeing that they can't get the freaking people from the
Boeing,
from the
International Space Station.
Yeah, they're still stuck up there, beating each other off.
Considering how far this planet is and everything, I don't really see why they would need to hide it.
That would confirm that there was alien life elsewhere. That would bring down religions. That would cause massive unrest. People would go crazy. It would be like 9/11, people jumping out of the buildings on the Twin Towers, but there would be no plane hitting them. People would just be jumping out of them.
Then again, I could see it like pushing religion more.
Oh, maybe sparking new religions. Worship the dwarf star.
Well, you think, say that if God created the whole universe, what makes it say that he didn't create this other planet?
With the aliens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe we're the aliens and they're the normal people.
Maybe we're their pets and they like to get sexual with us. Ooh, real naughty, dirty aliens.
That's why you're laying there and you have those dirty thoughts. They're controlling you.
They're beaming them into you.
But yeah, I can see it sparking new religions or
pushing people more into religion.
Yeah. Or having the opposite effect of bringing religion down. I mean, I could see either.
Regardless, I mean, that's a good theory.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go on to our next theory, which is called civil unrest. This theory states that for decades, another country or countries who have hated the United States, they've slowly been recruiting spies and slowly inserting them into the intelligence programs in the United States. These spies spend decades building credibility within these intelligence communities in the United States. Then one day, these spies are then told to make claims that the United States is hiding UFOs from the public. They go on to become whistleblowers, and their claims seem credible due to their credentials. However, they are secret spies whose entire agenda is to lie and make the civilians of the United States not trust their government, which slowly creates civil unrest, which ultimately leads to a civil war. And then the United States becomes unstable. Then that other country or countries come in, they attack when we're vulnerable, and they take over. A long game, a long play out.
So pretty much they're like sleeper agents. But then again,
Yeah. Spies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty out there. That'd
Pretty
be a good
out
book.
there, but yeah, I mean, it's possible. Maybe.
So why don't you tell us about our last theory?
All right. So the last theory is called disinformation. This theory states that the United States government made all of this up as a disinformation campaign to discredit a journalist and his publishing, Michael Shellenberger. The United States Air Force has done this in the past with a journalist to cover up a weapons program.
Yeah, a journalist tried to, actually it was like a UFO person, but he called himself a journalist. He tried to out the U.S. Air Force's weapons program, and the Air Force did a disinformation campaign and completely like discredited all of his publishing. So everybody ignored it. And maybe all this is made up to discredit Michael Shellenberger. He has published a lot of great stuff. Maybe he pissed somebody off in Twitter or San Francisco. He made a lot of enemies with his publishings. And by the way, he pushes nuclear power like nobody else.
Seems like he's very political as well.
Yeah. All right. So let's go into our own personal thoughts and theories. Out of all these theories, Dan, which one do you believe?
I like the find the leak one.
I do too.
Because, I mean, there's a whistleblower always coming out like every...
Grush.
Yeah, like Grush and ones before him. They always come out and like it always adds on to what was already coming out. So it's like, here, we'll make a connection here, release the information and see which part of it gets out.
Yeah, who leaks it?
Yeah. I see that.
Who can't be trusted.
But then again, though, I would like to believe the Ross 128B. That'd be cool as hell.
That would be cool. But if you had to select one.
It'd probably be the find the leak.
Yeah. I would love to believe that this is real because you have the MH370 orbs that match up with the claims from the whistleblower that, hey, an F-22 had orbs circling it. And all these other claims. And I want to believe it's real. And I think there are some orbs and UAPs and UFOs out there that we don't know what the fuck they are. And I do believe there are programs. But I think this Immaculate Constellation is a find the leak type of thing. It's not a real program. It's made up as a way for the government to find a leaker or to see if this intelligence officer is trustworthy and can have access to intelligence information and not leak it or whistleblow it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Immaculate Constellation, Majestic 12. It's like if they figure out like the little connection we made there, then have some of this information about UFOs, UAPs, there being a secret program. It fits right in with Majestic 12. They're going to think that they found something or they've learned something new.
Yeah.
Go out there, tell it to the world, and then boom, we know who the leak is.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? It was all made up as a way to find out if you're going to leak it or not. You're untrustworthy. You're fired. Now you're arrested for 5 years for something in the United. I don't even know what charge you would get.
I have no idea.
Treason.
Treason, yeah. I guess it would be treason because
hang them.
Hang them. Burn them at the stake.
No. It's not a witch. Anyway.
Could be.
But yeah. That's pretty much all I got for today's episode. Like I said, we had another episode completely prepared and ready to go, and we switched last moment to this one just because I knew that a lot of individuals would want to hear this and know about this. So there you go. That's all the information we have about it. Immaculate Constellation. And if you are a loved one, know any more information about Immaculate Constellation, or you have had access to this program or any other secret access program, do not email us because we do not want to be tracked by the United States government. Or you can. It's up to you. I don't really care at this point because I know
we're already being tracked.
I'm already on a list.
Yeah.
I was on a list for a little while because of the shipment of nuclear material, but that's a whole nother story for a different time. With that being said, do you have anything else you would like to add to today's episode before we roll on to shoutouts?
Nope, I have nothing else to add, just other than it was definitely interesting. I didn't hear about it since I don't watch the news, but then when you brought it up, definitely piqued my interest.
Yep.
So,
all right.
Good episode.
Well, that's the end of the episode. Now we're going to move on to some quick shoutouts. What do you got for us, Dan?
All right. So the first shout out, or the only shout out that I have, is from and to Angel and her boyfriend Dakota, because their 1 year anniversary was on October 9th. So, a couple days ago.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations on your 1 year anniversary. Good job, Dakota, for stepping up when others stepped out. And Angel, nice name.
Yeah, she says, see, he deserves so much more than a shout out, but unfortunately at the moment, that's about all I can offer him. He's been so much more to me than just a boyfriend. He's taken in my kids and I as his own and always does so much, and I love him so much.
Yeah, that's why I said stepping in when others stepped out.
That's right. Way to be a real man, Dakota. Like that.
Yeah. All right, well, that's the end of our shout-outs, and that is the end of our episode today. So I want to thank you for joining us, and if you want to continue to listen to other episodes, go subscribe to our premium content. It's either $6.66 for audio or $9.99 for audio and video. And you get access to our entire back catalog of everything when you sign up. And go to our website, theoriesofthethirdkind.com, click on the Supercast button, and it will take you to go sign it up.
That's right.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for joining us today. And again, thank you for all of your support, your love, and everything. You all are amazing. I am proud of every single one of you. So with that being said, Dan, you want to roll us out?
Sure will. It's okay to be out of this world with your thoughts.
Because you are not alone.
Because there's UAPs.